Do you like Record of Ragnarok? Yes? Alright. Do you like the monthly release schedule? Didn't think so. Time to recommend some manga Record of Ragnarok fans will enjoy. Let's fill up that painful wait with some more greatness. But before that, be a mad lad and subscribe to the channel, and you might as well hit the like button for the hype double chapter of Ragnarok coming this month. Let's begin. First up, we have a relatively new manga, goes by the name Tenkaichi, something along the line of finding the strongest martial artist in Japan tournament, with around 7 chapters out for the Raws and 1 or 2 being translated to English. It even had the creators of Record of Ragnarok recommend it, which is a very good sign. The premise is this crazy old dude was like, so do people like peace? I hope not, because I'm gonna die soon. So let's go out with a bang by watching a crazy bloodbath and the strongest in Japan being named real quick. Let's get that tournament started, boys. Solid looking art, and I'll talk about the art during the fight shortly. Doesn't seem to have a sole main character, at least so far considering the fighters. On that note, let's have a look at some of them. Bunch of sick looking character designs, female fighters as well, which is cool. This absolute unit that clapped a huge bull for a light warm up. The first fight being the one and only pretty boy Musashi Miyamoto versus this Honda dude. With all the fighters seeming to be absolutely insane, I decided to have a look at the Raws to see how the fights looked. The art seems to be very unique and interesting, something new which is cool, with it being somewhat scratchy and hard to follow at times, but very fast paced, which is always a positive in my book. This is the bracket for the tournament if you want to pause the screen and have a look at some of the other fighters. I don't know too many of them apart from Musashi Miyamoto and 1 or 2 others, but they all seem very unique and interesting. In short, it's a new series with a lot of potential. I hope a proper team gets made to translate more chapters. I also believe it's a monthly release schedule as well, but the genres include historical, martial arts and seinen, with that seinen tag being demonstrated immensely in the brutality during the fight. Next is Record of Ragnarok, but the female witches version. Goes by the name Majo Tizen, The War of Greedy Witches. Written by the same person who does Kakegurui, a pretty underrated gambling anime / manga. But Majo Taisen, again a big tournament manga, but only female fighters, with around 10 chapters being translated at today's recording. The premise being fights to the death, with the winner having their wish granted by this demon queen who pretty much set up this whole tournament, with the following fighters or bracket if you want to pause and have a look at some of them. This series seems to have a main character who's a fighter, with it being Jeanne d'Arc or Jeanne d'Arc, with the first fight being between these two. It has a focus on one's greed in the fights, as you see here. Greed for the extermination of evil versus the greed of mistreatment, with a magic based power system with weapon transformations, all crazy shit going on. This makes it so you don't really know what the fighters are going to use, as their weapons and abilities evolve mid-fight as their greed evolves and everything cool like that, with us getting sick panels like this for some of the witches' abilities. It also has a decent amount of the good old plot, if you know what I'm talking about, so the Aphrodite fans will have a field day here. The art throughout is probably the most clean compared to others in today's video, and I kinda prefer the clean look for reading and understanding what's going on. Makes it really enjoyable and is easy to consume. I also believe it allows for a lot more sick panels when you're talking about the fights and the clashes between characters. Other witches we've seen include her and the second fight between the main character with this fire walkout panel and this person. Very excited to see the future fights, the future evolutions of greed and the witch's abilities. Seems to be the most unique or out there power system in today's video. Not really focused so much on martial arts as the other series will be, but yeah, very enjoyable and I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Of course, if you're not new to this channel, you've most likely read Kengan, but for some reason if you haven't, read Kengan Ashura, the absolute pinnacle of fighting manga, the greatest tournament of all time. Just read Kengan Ashura, then continue reading Kengan Mega with everyone else. The next manga goes by the name Tokyo Duel, which is like a fusion of Baki, Kengan and Ragnarok, with there being 37 chapters translated so far, and I believe a little bit more, or the translation team is almost caught up. I believe it's weekly as well, so this can fill up a lot of people's time. Again, a tournament, but the character designs so far are on a whole other level. Definitely the most unique so far. It has crazy height fights with some Bucky level insanity, weapons, martial arts, very solid art, and a somewhat compelling story. It also seems to have a main character as well, which may be a turnoff for a few people as he'll most likely win his fights, but I'm honestly more compelled by the other characters, which I'll show on screen now. So we have this guy looking very swagged out, this guy which gives off some Justice Boy vibes, if you know that is if you've read Kangen. If you haven't read Kangen, this person here, as I said, a lot of unique and a large variety of designs. Speaking of unique, we have this person here, this panda dude, this guy who has probably one of the sickest designs in the series, looking very badass. Can't wait to read his fight as I'm not 100% caught up. But yeah, we got this young kid looking person with there being a lot of strange weapons as well. This guy which gives off some like Kure Ryan insane vibes, which is also very appealing, or maybe somewhat like Eustace Kid from One Piece. This guy who has that Jaime face looks like an absolute crazy Chad, has like a bowling ball in a plastic bag there, so he may be hitting people over the head with that. My dude with the fully sick afro and beard, he looks like an absolute beast. Someone that will probably snap once they get hit once. This guy who's built like a fridge and seems to have this dog with him. This person, again with the crazy unique character design, seems to have like a hammer similar to Thor from Record of Ragnarok. This person, I don't even know what weapon that is, but seems to be very interesting. And like the big dog of the series, this guy looking like an absolute monster. Can't wait to see what he's capable of. But yeah, all these fighters look absolutely sick, and as I said, one of the most unique looking cast in the series. And the final manga I'm going to talk about in today's video isn't too much like Record of Ragnarok, but it's in the same universe and it has been written by the same person who writes the story for Ragnarok. The Shinsengumi Requiem, with characters like Okita Tsuji, a fighter for humanity, being a main character in that series as well, alongside Izami and many other fighters. Seems to be solely based on, you know, the sword fighting and of course the story of the Shinsengumi. Very cool so far, again by the same author of Record of Ragnarok, still having very consistent chapters, very solid so far, and yeah, just more stuff regarding the Record of Ragnarok story. But yeah, that should be everything for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. As always, shout out to the people who support the channel via the Patreon. And if you haven't already, make sure to join the Discord, follow the Twitter, and yep, that's it guys. Peace.